And so if we keep ignoring the fact that basically we have an entire industry based on guesswork around the secret sauce, the harder it's going to be. The more money we raise and the bigger funds get, the more challenging it is. And we, by the way, are blessed in this city with an amazing venture capital community. I mean, I have only raised money from one VC in the city, which is GrowthWorks, and I can tell you my experience with them has been phenomenal. They have it right. They do it right. They're supportive when they need to be supportive. They get out of your way when they need to get out of your way. And they're just great people. They're great people to hang out with and be in the trenches with. And you've got great funds here, like Yaletown Venture Partners, people who understand the game. So we are blessed to have a lot of money in this city, to have a lot of great experience. But there is a problem, which is we are all chasing something that I am worried is a little Puff the Magic Dragon-ish, and not accepting that we don't understand this magic elixir. So what is the answer? One of the answers, one of many, is Boot Up Labs. What these guys are doing is really important to the ecology of this city. It is basically taking an education, mentoring, accelerated venture model, putting in far less money, failing and winning quickly, and they will be, I think, and I should disclose I'm one of the board members, but it is, in my opinion, one of the most important things that's going on in the city today, and you should really stop by and talk to Danny and Maura. Now, some rules about money. Number one, make sure you need it. I think there was this common thing, this adage that came out of the 90s when venture capital was flowing, which was when the cookie jar comes around, take it. And I used to buy into that, by the way, and I don't anymore. I think you are now at an era where you can build companies so quickly and understand whether they fail or succeed quickly that you really need to ask yourself as an entrepreneur whether you actually need money. If you do need money, make sure you take it from people you like. Because it's not about their skill set. It's not about what they know. And it's definitely not about who they're connected to. It's about being in the trenches when the shit hits the fan and you've got to talk to these guys on a daily basis and being able to make sure that you like the people you are working with, because there is nothing worse than facing a board of people that you don't get along with and aren't compassionate to you and don't understand the cause. It's really about people that you like. It's also about the kind of people. People always talk about smart money, dumb money. I think all of that is just, it's such a subjective issue. I don't think it matters. What matters is emotional capital. You want to be in bed with people that are emotionally attached to what you do, who get up and are passionate and think about it, and you get the call at 3 in the morning or the email at 3 in the morning because they had that idea. The emotional attachment of your investors to what you do is far more important than who they know or what they do, because the truth about venture capital is the concept of value add is a slight bit of a myth. VCs are amazing assets to have on your board because they're going to help you with discipline and operational experience and life experience, and that's really important stuff. But the only person who is going to build your company is you. Do not look, and you cannot look, as many people in the Valley have done, and there is a graveyard filled of companies who expected their VCs to build their companies with them and for them. They are amazing teammates, but the value add is only in the infrastructure. The only people who are going to make it succeed or fail is you. Now, there is a problem with entrepreneurs, and it's something that I think is really important to be clear. I get pitched, as I'm sure many of you do, 100 times a day, from entrepreneurs who start from the wrong place. They start from product. I think this guy's in prison now, but in any event. The first thing you need to do as an entrepreneur is not talk about your product and what you're passionate about and your ideas. That is a secondary step. The most important step in entrepreneurship is asking the question about what kind of life you want to lead. How much money do you want to make? How much time do you want with your kids? Do you want kids? Do you want to travel? Do you want to make sure that you give back to the community? If you don't define your life very clearly and then match your passion and your business to it, I would argue that a good chunk of the 80% of entrepreneurs who fail isn't necessarily because of the product. It's because of the disconnect between their lifestyle and what they thought they were inheriting. You really need to ask the hardcore questions about your life and your community before you ever talk about product and ideas. Because building companies requires different stages depending where you're at. Building a company that does $1 million in revenue is functionally different than trying to build a home run billion-dollar company out of the park. They are different plays. They require different infrastructure, and they will definitely require different amounts of your time. And there was a great study done by Babson College about immigrant businesses. And one of the things that they concluded was that immigrant-run businesses in North America are very successful because they start from that question. They are typically built on the back of familial obligation and understanding of where you want to be in your life and what you want. There's a clear direction about why they are doing it. Not just about the business, but about their lives. Now, I want to end off by just talking to you about 3 things I think you've got to know about for the next 730 days. 3 trends that I think are super important, and as an entrepreneur, you'd really want to pay a lot of attention to. And the first is the letter W. There has been a lot of debate amidst economists as to whether this is a U, V, or W-shaped recovery. By all intents and purposes, we are at a slight moment of recovery. Clearly, we are no longer in a U. That option has gone. So the question is, are we in a V or a W? And a W just basically means we have a very short increase in productivity, and the numbers start to look great for a period of time, typically about 2 quarters, maybe 3, and then we do another deep dive down. And I would argue no economist really knows the answer to this, and the answer is irrelevant, because you should manage your businesses like we are in a W-shaped recovery. You should be focused on being cost-effective and cheap and frugal and making really hard decisions about being innovative as if you don't have another dime coming and as if you know we're about to walk back into a year ago. It's really important because it is likely we're going to end up in a W recovery, but you should really manage the company against that so that you don't get caught trying to get too enthusiastic about a market and get hit and blindsided in about 3 quarters.